Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So today I got a super fun and exciting video for you guys today because I am playing a work in progress version of the Fatal Frame PC port based upon the Fatal Frame Decompilation video that you saw maybe about a month and a half ago. And big thanks to Cheesy Burrito, one of the developers on this, because when you think of horror games, you definitely think of cheesy burritos. All jokes aside, Fatal Frame is a franchise. I've been in love with it since the first game came out, and I have every single game in my collection here. It is just a completely different type of survival horror that really leans in on that kind of Asian horror influence, and obviously getting a PC port of this is going to be a straight up 10 out of 10. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. And if you haven't played Fatal Frame, maybe you wouldn't be aware of this, but your character isn't a wireframe the entirety of the game. Obviously that is a joke, but I'm getting Big Tofu from Resident Evil vibes here, kind of just moving around the world. If you never played Tofu mode in Resident Evil, I can't stress enough, it is an amazing challenge if you feel like you played the ever-loving hell out of that game. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. And just so you know how this is running, you basically take a few files from the disc version of Fatal Frame on PlayStation 2, and you drop them into the folder with the executable and the rest of the PC port resources, and then when you launch it, it'll basically real time start running on PC. You can see graphics here, you can see textures, nothing is quote unquote correct, but it is way more correct than it is completely broken, and for a port that absolutely is something great to see. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I am more interested in the development process than I am in the final version of a game. Sure, we got stuff like the Banjo Kazooie recomp, and that's amazing, but I like talking about how the things work way more than I actually like showcasing them, because once I play it on PC, I'm excited about it, but then I'm waiting for the next fun project to kind of see the development process on. And I will leave a link in the description below to the GitHub page if you want to check it out. This is a little bit old. This was the last video I did, so the percentage has gone up, but you can basically start doing ports and stuff like that even if you're not 100% decomped, because some things just have to wait a little bit longer to actually be brought into the game. But I want you to realize that it's not something where you need 100% decompiled status to do something with the code. You can start poking at it whenever you want. But as we go back to the PC port here again, you can see that this is the initial area of the game. It is running at 60 frames per second, and there is going to be two different debug menus as well that you can kind of play around with if you want to check something like this out. Now obviously this isn't ready for primetime play. I don't even think you'd be able to get through the game because a lot of the levels that I selected in debug, they will crash maybe 5-10 seconds in. Other levels seem to be relatively stable, and you'll see here we will go into that debug menu and start playing around with stuff. You can change the lighting, you can change the camera, you can change different parameters. This is basically obviously part of the PC port because you have that Miku designation on the list there. We can even go into the camera and kind of look around, and you'll see those 2D elements seem to be drawing exactly as they should on the PlayStation 2 version of the game. But I am curious, leave me a comment down below and you tell me, did you play this back on PlayStation 2, or if you never actually checked Fatal Frame out, I would be curious. And it is fun to be able to toggle on and off all of the different 3D items within the actual game world in and of itself. You see there, you can turn the room on and off, and even all of the 3D. And a lot of the cutscenes will work. There is some audio as well. It's not 100% strung together yet, but it is enough to do a soundtrack sample, so expect that in about 45 seconds. And some of these screen space filters definitely have a particular vibe to them, and you will see here the character model seems to be almost like a wine cup coming out of the side of something like her body. Let's get into the first of two soundtrack samples. Again, it isn't perfect audio and it's not final, but you can hear it, and I'll be right back.
That mirror. Give it back.
So I mean, there's definitely areas there where the audio does drop out, but when it is working, it sounds exactly like it would in an actual Fatal Frame game. The audio quality is solid. There isn't really any distortion in any of the samples that I just gave you. If you did notice those rainbow textures, that's just incomplete rendering of the actual texture. That's something we see even in software emulation, especially on the MAME side of things with the 3DFX cards, where the textures will basically just show this garbage because they're having issues actually loading in properly and actually being rendered properly. But as far as the camera angles are concerned, as far as Fatal Frame is concerned, this is recognizable as the game on PlayStation 2. And again, it's not like this is some sort of release version that you're going to go out and play, but this is some of the biggest big decomp energy I feel like I have featured on this playlist so far, because I love this franchise and it is one of those deeper cuts out there, and I feel like some people might actually jump in if they had a PC port versus having to go back to PlayStation 2 or emulation. And it's one of those things, of course, I'm sure there will be some enhancements here as well. But let's take a look at the same scene first in the actual Fatal Frame 2 build for PlayStation 2. Pay attention to going down this hallway, that ghost moving into frame, this mirror right here, and the overall area that we are traversing. You're going to see the character model and everything else, including the text for the reflection on the mirror. We'll take a couple of rights to go through this door, and we'll end up in this main room. Now we're going to basically mirror that exact same action and movement in the PC port version that I am capturing from. So now you have a baseline as to what it should look like. And now moving back over, you will see going down that hallway, there is that ghost moving through. There's the mirror in front of you just without a reflection in this build. And there is that same text. But the text draws 100% perfectly fine. That does seem to be buttoned up. And as we come through this door here, a little bit of a weird screen space effect, but now we are in the same area of the demo that I just showed you from actual PlayStation 2 footage. And that in and of itself, that you can recognize where you are in the game and what is going on and how those text boxes actually render properly, that is a ton of progress. Because even getting something like this to run in the first place is no easy lift, and I'm sure it'll be buttoned up shortly and you'll be able to actually enjoy it. And that really is great. The entire team that's porting Fatal Frame over to PCs definitely deserves a lot of commendations and a lot of credit for this one. And I love that basically for every deep cut game out there, there is a group or a dev team that is looking at it and really wants to make it run for you and for themselves. Because for every Resident Evil out there, and even for every Silent Hill, there's something like Fatal Frame, a franchise that has a ton of entries in it that just never got that much attention in the West. And again, if you've never checked it out before, I can't stress enough, you need to play every game in the series if you're into survival horror. I would put Fatal Frame up there with Siren as far as amazing survival horror games that basically like 8 out of 10 people have never played before. But if you have played Fatal Frame, leave me your thoughts in the comments below, because I would be curious how you feel about it. I picked up the original game from EB Games. It was on sale and maybe used. I had no idea what it was, but I saw it on the shelf and said to myself, well, this looks kind of entertaining, I should probably check it out. And I absolutely fell in love with the franchise then, and I've been playing it ever since. But the idea that we're going to be able to play the original on PC, quote-unquote soon, is straight up a 10 out of 10 any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Let's do one more soundtrack sample so you can hear a little bit more about how the audio is actually sounding in the game. And this is a capture from Cheesy Burrito. So go ahead and listen, and I'll be right back. I mean, it definitely is audio, it definitely is recognizable, and it definitely is a very fun Asian kind of themed horror vibe going on here. And with all of the camera angles, the static ones, as well as the ones that move in that Dutch camera right there that we're just moving with you, it is a fun universe to play around in. And again, it's going to be something that eventually you're going to be able to play as a PC port. Because even though the PS2 recomp tool is in development, this is not a static recompilation so much as it is a PC port. And again, I am still working on a video to describe the difference, but I'm kind of playing around visually how it's best to explain the difference between a recomp and a PC port, because it's one of those things, if you get into too much technical information, I'm going to basically lose people. And you'll see there a lot of fun rainbow effects, definitely not supposed to be there, but definitely a fun vibe. Basically makes it feel like Fatal Frame is having some sort of rave party for just a little bit. But short of that, this is the progress so far. It is absolutely fun to see, even if it isn't finalized. And as soon as this thing is more playable with some more characters being shown, I will definitely revisit this one, because this is a fun franchise that I've absolutely loved. And as far as Big Decomp Energy is concerned, this is one I'm super excited about. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. But we're done. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. And go play Fatal Frame. Bye-bye.